So now we can turn to Rini's proposal for how to approach ethics and AI, which she calls the parenting model. When transitioning into Rini's argument for how we ought to approach teaching or programming ethics into our technology and future intelligent robots, she frames our thinking with the following. Quote, if we take the idea of a moral nature seriously, then we should admit that machines ought to be different from us because they are different from us, end quote. But what will this mean in practice, right? Or what will it mean for our actions? What will we do? Rini says, quote, it means being ready to accept that machines might eventually make moral decisions that none of us find acceptable. The only condition is that they must be able to give intelligible reasons for what they're doing. An intelligible reason is one you can at least see why someone might find morally motivating, even if you don't necessarily agree, end quote. The goal should be for AI to be able to explain themselves to us. This is Rini's point. That they can provide reasons for their decisions, and that these decisions reflect careful considerations of relevant factors. Rini proposes a few guidelines for us as we navigate what it means to raise morally good robots. One, if they can explain them to us in terms we find intelligible, we should try not to stop them from thinking this way. I should say, explain them. If they can explain their actions to us, we should try not to stop them from thinking this way. We should not tinker with their digital brains, aiming to reprogram them. We might try to persuade them, cajole them, instruct them in the way that we do human teenagers. And we should intervene to stop them only if their actions pose risk of obvious and immediate harm. If we accept that emulating humans means they'll include behaviors like decision-making, reflection, and inevitable awareness, then we should treat robots like we do children, right? They're new on the scene, learning how to navigate this world as the thing that they are. Or in Rini's words, quote, parents have a responsibility to help their children develop a critical sensibility towards the conventional moral norms of their culture and time. This is meant to be an ongoing process, a back and forth. Over and over, children try to act out in some way, but the appropriate parental response is not simply to restrict. It is to enable change and growth by guided moral reflection. The output of good parenting is not a child who perfectly copies her parents' beliefs, but one who can reflect upon and explain what she believes to be right. End quote. And Rini goes on, their morality, quote, will be a morality growing out of their particular contingent circumstances, the non-biological children of a biological species. We can't predict this new moral path, and we shouldn't try, but we should be ready to guide and accept it, end quote. Here, at the end of this PowerPoint, I want you to take some time to respond to the following questions. 1. Do you think parenting robots is possible? Why or why not? 2. What connections do you see with other moral theories we've looked at so far this semester? 3. Tell me about some movie or TV show you've watched that includes AI characters. For example, the Alien series, The Avengers, Ex Machina, the Terminator series, WALL-E, Westworld. There's quite a few. And then answer these questions. How were those AI characters portrayed? Did the emergence of self-awareness come up in the story? Did the treatment of the AI machines come up in the story? And 4, after reading Rini's article, do you think we have moral obligations to robots, or will we? Why or why not? And yes, please upload your responses to our Blackboard journal when you're done.